Alright, we're back for the conclusion. So, during the video set, during the league, we lost to Blue-Red Kiln Fiend and Affinity, and we defeated Teachings Tron, Affinity, and Elves. The Elves matchup is just fine. As you saw, the Elves matchup is just fine even without these Electricries. I like having them for assurance and against, Kuldotha Boros decks, which are really difficult decks to play against as they're so flexible. And they have so much fluidity and velocity. They can play a lot of 1-mana spells, they can draw through their deck looking for specific answers, so the Electricries are pretty big against them. I was pretty happy with the way the deck performed as a whole. I didn't always want to counter non-creature spells with Deprive. I wouldn't say I rarely wanted to, but it was definitely more often than I wanted to counter creatures. I wanted to counter creature spells. And Nullify was okay, but basically I don't think there are enough auras to justify Nullify over Essence Scatter. So I'm gonna actually cut the Nullify for sure, and add an Essence Scatter. And then I might also cut the Deprive. Not entirely sure, but I feel like the Deprive was valuable enough as a catch-all that I want to keep it able to counter anything. As far as the rest of the deck goes, the dispels in the main board were kind of conditional, but not too bad. And I like the rest of the deck. There are so many tapped lands, but we can't really get around that without making our mana worse. We're really intensive as far as blue mana is concerned, with all of our counterspells and stuff, so I'm not that keen on replacing anything with non-blue sources. I was trying Ash Barrens plus a single mountain for a while, and that was fine, but I think the mountain messed up the deck, caused it to stumble a little more often than it helped us with Untapped Red. That might be incorrect, but it's just that was the sense that I got with 5 or 6 games with Ash Barrens. Boilerworks in particular is really awkward, but we need the full 12 red sources, I think. Just being able to cast multiple red sources a turn is important in some matchups. Or cast multiple red spells, so have multiple red sources in play. The core of the deck is pretty great, as always. It's a really similar core to the mono blue Delver list, but with some more mid-rangey card advantage type elements, which actually serve us really well because we have these 1-mana removal spells, so we can play a more mid-rangey game. We don't have to be all in on the tempo aspect, which I really like over mono blue Delver, and I don't feel like there are enough aggressive decks in the room, or rather I don't feel like the aggressive decks in the room are aggressive enough to warrant playing a monocolored deck right now. So I think the red gives us more than it takes away. Mono blue Delver is kind of locked into trying to race those aggressive decks, or at least tempo them out, whereas we can play a more controlling game plan against them, especially after we cut Muldrifters. So the decks aren't fast enough. So we're able to play these 12 red sources and get a better payoff against with Bolt and Flame Slash against aggro. And Pyroblast is just a godsend against the more controlling decks in the metagame. As far as the sideboard is concerned, I like everything. This relic is just solid. It's not great, but it's very solid. Same with Echoing Ruin. I would run Gorilla Shamans if I had them, but I don't because they're 20 ticks a copy, which is just absurd for Pauper. That's really the principle of the thing. Also, I just can't exactly afford them right now. My Magic spending is focused on other things, but even if I could afford them, that would be obnoxious. Stormbound Geist is good. It's a little expensive in matchups where we want it, but it's just a really solid card. difficult to deal with, pretty strong. So I think in the matchups we lost, we got pretty unlucky. We flooded out in at least one game of both of those matches, and that was a little painful. Was hard for me to play. I don't know if it was hard for you all to watch or not, but it was definitely hard for me to play. So, I think the deck is one of the best decks in Pauper. It's difficult to play optimally. I definitely made a number of mistakes over the course of the video, and I've played several leagues with this deck already, and I'm like familiar with this type of deck, so it's definitely not something that you can like pick up and 4-1 or 5-0 a league with right away. You can definitely expect to like 3-2 a league with it, because it is a solid deck. The card quality can like serve as a crutch to where you don't really need to get to play perfectly. But that's just my thought. Some people might find it easier than I found it. Some people might find it a bit harder. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Where you think I played well, where you think I made misplays, any changes you think can be made to the deck. I'm definitely like open to some ideas of replacements for these dispels, because they are a bit clunky. Like at least one of them. I'm fine with one in the main, but I just don't really want the second in the main. Would rather move it to the sideboard and replace it with like another 1-mana spell, but the next best red spell is like the next best ones are, I think, Chain Lightning and Burst Lightning, neither of which I'm very excited about in this format. Chain Lightning might be worth it though. It is sorcery speed, which doesn't work too well with the Izzet Boilerworks, but we might be able to make it work. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Could also fit like a Harvest Pyre in here, maybe. We don't make use of our graveyard at all, and so it frequently gets really stocked. And Harvest Pyre would be like a great way to kill like a Gurmag Angler or something. Or like as you saw, we had some trouble with some of Affinity's 4 toughness creatures and their Togs. So Harvest Pyre could be a great solution there. I don't really want to add another 2-drop, but so Dispel isn't exactly a 1-drop anyway, so it's not wouldn't make a huge difference. Actually, I think I'm gonna make that change. I think I'm gonna go add a Harvest Pyre in place of one of these dispels. I still want to know if like there's another another answer, so I can another 1-mana, like good 1-mana spell, so I can move this other dispel to the sideboard. But for now, it's okay to leave it in. All right, thanks for watching. I will probably have another video for you next week, but I might do an article on how Aether Revolt affects Pauper. I'm not super excited because there are very few cards that will be relevant, but there are 1 or 2 that I have my eye on, so I might do an article about that. Might just do another video. Stay tuned, watch the space, and I'll see you next week.